It's not possible. I didn't say it would be easy, Neo.
This is Division 10. We're back in session with the Honorable Tangela Berry presiding.
Okay. Okay, I hope that's a little better. So I wanted to to go back and try to figure out what the next position should be regarding the matter. Mr. Wade, you said something earlier. You said something like Kaylee can stay with mom and Sharia can stay with me, something along those lines, because the court intended to have one person to stay with each. I just want you to be mindful that my position of one person staying with one parent or the other was not because I was trying to give one parent a child. That was not what I was doing. I was putting the children in the best position I thought they should be in, namely because the children, of course, I was trying to make sure that they had an opportunity to be with each other. So therefore, I made them things that they would have on the weekends with each other, but that they could get to some extent, their desire, because I believe that would be a great way of them building relationships. And then, so there are many things that I consider, but the idea of just giving one parent a child for the sake of being even, that is not the court's consideration. I just wanted you to be mindful of that. But the thing that the court does want to do is put the children in the best circumstances that they could be in, and that so that each of you would be able to parent accordingly or be able to do your best parenting. So with regard to Kaylee, it's because you both have had instances with her wherein it became physical. And I remember, as I stated to you in some of the interviews that I had with her, where she acknowledged that sometimes she gets a temper and she kind of reacts before she kind of realizes that she has this kind of anger streak that she indicated that she realizes, which I thought was a really good place to begin, and was hopeful that maybe therapy would help. Mr. Way indicates to me that she's involved in therapy, and it doesn't appear to be successful because it appears that this incident that he just discussed was in May, was starting in March, but kind of reached its head in May. Am I right on that, Mr. Way?
Yes, it started in March and it just progressively got worse. Until May. And so then I'm going to give you an opportunity, Ms. Thomas Way, to talk. And then Ms. Thomas Way indicated that the child then was placed with her mother or Mr. Way's mother. She's with, because of what was going on with how, when I get Kayla, how often that we, she clashes with me. So my mother stepped in to help me, like, hey, to keep her, to calm her down. Like, my family's been helping me a lot.
Mother. Your mother.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I want to make, to understand. All right. And so she's with your mother right now.
Yeah, she's with me, because we don't stay that far from each other. So when Kaylee, starts arguing with me, because she doesn't want to be at home, and she starts arguing, hey, my mom steps in, like, hey, let me calm her down, let me talk to her,
And so we usually be all right after that. But, when I'm just one-on-one with Kaylee, how she's acting, is a back and forth and, not being able to been told anything. If I tell her anything, she wants to fight me. She wants to argue. She wants to cuss me
Wait,
out.
wait. My question is, your mother, she's with your mother, or are you telling me she goes over there? Sometimes I'm trying to understand the circumstance. I don't need to
She
know
goes,
why.
she just goes over there sometimes.
So where is she now?
She's with me. We at my mama's house right now.
Okay, I understand you might be at your mom's house now. When I say where is she now, I mean, where does she lay her head at night, last night, the night before last?
With my mother.
Okay. When you say she's with me, are you telling me you moved in with your mother?
No, I have not moved in with my mother. Like I said, I'm in the process of moving for the sake of her, because that's what she's, where I'm at now. And like I said, she doesn't want to be there. So like I said, I have no issue with moving. I just, I told Kat, I just can't keep upping and moving. Every time you get on, you don't want to be somewhere.
Okay, I'm confused. Are you moving with your mother or not?
No, I'm not moving with my mother.
Okay. So when you say up and move, what are you talking about?
Oh, Kayla, because where I'm at now, where I reside at now, and Kayla doesn't want to be where I live at now with my partner. And so because of what's going on, like when she gets over there, she's, either she's arguing with everybody, she's trying to fight everybody, call the police on people, sending out the address to everybody. And so we're trying to do my best to protect the household.
Okay. She doesn't want to live with your girlfriend. Is that what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm. At this point, me too.
Okay. And has she indicated what she wants?
Right now, what she indicated that she wants to be with her mother. She doesn't want to be with me. She doesn't want to see me anymore. She can't stand me. I mean, I can go on.
Okay. All right. But you're at the house with her now, and you told me just a few seconds before, you come over, she stays with you, and only when she gets active, your mother steps in. Is that still the case?
Yeah, that's every time. That's every time I get her. She's arguing.
So you come to get, even though she's been staying with your mother since when?
I would say probably about, I think around the time the incident happened, around like the first of when the incident happened on the 9th, and that happened with that was suggested through the CPS worker, and as a safety plan to protect me.
So the 9th of February,
the 9th of May.
Okay, so the 9th of May, she moved in with your mother.
Mm-hmm.
But you come and get her and take her back home, and only when she gets out of hand does she go back with your mother.
Yes.
Okay. And she's going to therapy how often?
She has therapy with Miss Cynthia, Miss Gloria. I think she has another with the doctor. So far she's seen about 3 people. She's supposed to see about 3 people this week. So I think she gets 3 virtual appointments, and I think they want to do 1 or 2 in person throughout the week.
And who are the therapists that she's seeing?
She's seeing people with Lovely Hand and the Henry County Department. So she's seeing a therapist named Miss Cynthia, Miss Gloria, and I think she's seeing
Gloria is with Lovely Hand.
Yes.
Is that through DFACS?
Mm-hmm.
And is that through DFACS through the incident that happened Miss Thomas Way?
No, that's through the incident that happened on the 9th. She was seeing someone else with that person. So I think because of the incident, they transfer everybody over here to the Henry County, because this is where I stay.
So who did you contact in relationship to my order indicating that she's supposed to start
with therapy?
Let me
Yeah, because they contacted me. So whatever the incident, they contacted me.
So looks like I wrote, on a temporary basis, petitioner father shall have primary custody over the minor child, K. Way, and respondent mother shall have the primary custody of the minor child, C. Thomas. Respondent shall not have any parenting time with K. Way until further order of this court. That's what I wrote. All right. And then I said the parties are ordered to participate in family therapy and enroll minor child K. Way in individual therapy. The parties can satisfy this requirement by participating in therapy coordinated by the Department of Family and Children Services, or may arrange therapy on their own. I signed that in February. Where did she start going in February?
She started going to someone named Miss Williams.
Miss Williams is through what? Where's
Your Honor? She's through DFACS. I believe it was set up with the mom's case, and that she was in therapy there. I believe she was even in therapy when we came in February.
Okay.
Jordan, may I say something?
Yeah.
May I say something? She was going through the Miss Gwendolyn Williams through DFACS. I think that was in February. I think the case got closed, I want to say in April, but after that, I continued to her to have therapy with Miss Gwendolyn Williams. And that was that's supposed to be every Monday. It was every Monday with DFACS. Then after that, when she closed the case and I told her I wanted them to continue therapy or counseling, that was every Wednesday. But Mr. Wade stopped her from going to see Miss Williams.
Why?
And that was, I have no idea, because she called me and asked me when Kaylee coming to the sessions. Because if I'm not mistaken, Kaylee probably attended 3 or 4 sessions.
Okay, Mr. Wade, why was she stopped from going to Miss Williams?
The issue with Miss Williams, because the incident that happened, my issue was getting there. And like I said, when I spoke to Miss Williams, hey, 1 minute she sit there and say we can do it on Zoom. And when the time she said we can do it on Zoom, then I talked to her the same day. She's like, no, you can't. And like I explained to her, my issue was the distance. And then then they end up switching her to the I asked for a request to be changed for someone closer in my area.
So how long? So basically, we're talking about she hasn't had anybody consistently. She's only had 3 or 4 sessions since February, and then she switched to Lovely Hands, and at this point may have had 2 or 3 sessions.
She had more sessions with Lovely Hands because she was seeing Miss Cynthia almost every week.
Every week?
Like she would come like on Sundays and stuff like that. Miss Cynthia would work around my schedule and stuff like that. Like she would come meet with Kaylee. So Kayla has been getting help, and then you got for 2 weeks, Kayla was committed as well.
Committed where?
To Ridgeview when she tried to commit suicide.
And
so it's a lot of time was taken up with her being there.
She tried to commit suicide when?
I would say back in April. I would say around April 16th, 17th, around that time. It might have been the 7th. I think she was released on the 17th. So she was in there for about 10 days.
And I know Miss Holloway said she sent something to us, but I don't remember receiving anything about, was there an emergency issue dealing with her suicide? I don't recall. You're on mute.
Sorry. Yes, Your Honor. We met, I believe, April 12th. And during that time, we discussed it. I believe so. Let me just make sure. That would be... Not sure if it was sent via email, but I do believe we discussed it in May. I see some correspondence between myself and Ms. Thomas Wade's former counsel. Yes, I believe at the time, because I see an email I sent to the former council on April 12th, and at that time, Kaylee was still at Ridgeview when we had that April 12th status conference.
But at this
emergency hearing.
12 status conference, I knew that she was in Ridgeway for trying to commit suicide.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe we mentioned it because she was still there. She hadn't gotten out yet.
I just don't remember that. I thought that that main meeting that we had was about whether or not he was trying to move her to another city. I thought that was the main, and I just don't remember spending that much time. Maybe because I was moving quickly, I didn't appreciate what was being said. Because I know we were under time restraints, and I think that meeting was really just I was giving you guys like 15 minutes, and it was only just to make sure that the child was not moved out of the jurisdiction. I don't remember spending that additional time on it, but that's where I guess out of the issue where we are now. So there was a suicide attempt. She was at Ridgeview for a couple of weeks, and then she came out, and then she started with Lovely Hands because of the issue with Way.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, because she was working with Miss Cynthia prior to that, and
So
like I said, because
suicide. Who works for her because of her mental health after the suicide? Who's she seeing for that?
The people with Lovely Hands, because Miss Cynthia was helping her prior to that, and once all that happened, I re-requested their services because they stay within my county, and they providing that. I can give you the doctor name for her. She's talking to Doctor. Give me 1 second. I gotta look at this because she spoke with him yesterday, and she talking to Marlon Oden, and she was that's who she been reached on for behavior. So she
Marlon Oden, if I may interject, Marlon Oden, he's not a doctor, he's a therapist. He's actually a therapist in another case of mine. They're called Cope Behavioral. Cope, COPE, Cope Behavioral. There is a PhD doctor there, but Marlon Oden has a master's in social work. I don't believe he's even a licensed clinical social worker because I objected to him. So I know.
I think she needs seeing. I think if you have a suicide attempt and she's coming out, she needs to be seeing a doctor. And you know, luckily you are in a position to have insurance for her to be able to see someone, but she needs to see someone that could assess her to make sure she doesn't need to be on medication or things of that nature. But especially if what was the suicide attempt?
Like I said, I was with her, and like I said, we was on the phone. I think I had talked to Miss Tiffany Bell when I was talking to about making a payment for my case, and I don't know. Kaylee just started cussing at me, fussing at me, so she punched me in the back of the neck, and then she tried to wrap her neck with the seatbelt, and I pulled over at the police precinct and got help, and she was telling everybody that she wanted to kill herself and harm herself, so they committed her.
Okay, so she tried to wrap the seatbelt around her, and you took her to the police department?
Mm-hmm, and they committed her from there.
Okay. Okay.
Jordan, may I say something?
Yes.
Okay, because the story that I got from Kaylee was that she told her dad that she was going to kill herself and him, and because she called me from, I think it was the Emory Henlydale, and she was like, "Mom, I'm in a hospital," and I was like, "What you in the hospital for?" And I was like, she was like, because at the time the order was there where I couldn't handle family time with Kaylee, so I couldn't go there and visit her to see what was actually going on. And so she was like, I told them that I was gonna kill myself and dad because dad kept messing with me. He kept talking about you. He kept saying stuff about you, and I kept telling him, was it true? So she was like, he just kept at it. So I told him I was gonna kill myself, and he told me he's gonna kill me. She's like, well, I told him I'm gonna kill myself first before he do it. And then I think 2 days later, if I'm not mistaken, she called me and said that she was in Ridgeview Institute in Smyrna. And I talked to, I guess it was a doctor, a nurse, or whoever it was that was down there with her. And I asked them what was going on. Could I come visit? I told them what was going on, that I couldn't visit her or anything. And I was trying to see if she is all right. And they told me when the visitation days was, so I was going to tell my grandma to go visit her to actually find out if she was all right, see if everything was fine. So I think the next day, they told me that I needed to call to actually find out some information from the doctor. And they was like, Kayla didn't need any medication because nothing was wrong with Kayla, and that she could have came home. I think it was some 10 days, 10 days, I can't remember what it was, but I know it was 10 days where she had to be there. Somebody had to come and get her. But since I couldn't do it because I didn't have the order was there, Desmond had to come and get her.
Okay. Do you think you're equipped to handle Kaylee at this juncture in consideration of things that you've already heard Mr. Wade discuss and some of your own prior incidents that you had with Kaylee?
Yes, ma'am, because I've been keeping Kaylee in therapy because I know Kaylee actually needs therapy. And since the incident, since Kaylee been coming over with me, that's why I told them to keep her in therapy. Even when the defects case got closed, I told them to keep her in therapy, as well as I got Sherry in therapy as well.
Mr. Wade, your position is that when she's been with you, she's been in therapy. Is that what your position is?
She's been in therapy. I've given you the name of the people, and like I said, getting everything together. And a lot of times when I do have scheduled appointments I try to schedule my appointments around the time that I have. And with Kayla, like I said, I've allowed Kayla to go back and forth with her mom since that has calmed her down a little bit. And like I said, Sherry has been with me, so that kind of offset it on that foot.
Wait a minute. That you didn't allow her to be with her mom, so she has been to Miss Thomas.
You remember when we went there? You sit there and say you put her order. You said we can go. Let her go over on Wednesdays and the weekends. So that's what I allowed her to do.
Didn't you just tell me you were not doing it? Are you telling me you are doing that?
You when we came back for the before the mercy hearing, that's what you was telling me. You're gonna put an order in so she can be at home with her mother, and I was allowing her to go back.
Did she go with her mother?
She's been going with her mother. I've never kept her from her mother.
Okay, and so when she came back with you, that y'all had that incident. So she was with her. She was visiting her mother, but you all were still having that contention.
Yes, me and her have been going back and forth since March. So no matter if it's her running away, it's her putting her hands on me, it's her threatening to kill herself, she has been doing all of this since March.
Now, after this incident, when did I indicate that she's going to be in your custody? What month was that?
That was in like February.
It was in February of when?
Like the 9th of February or something like that, because I had her since January, like something like mid part of January.
You got her since January 2023?
4. I got her early this year.
2024.
Mm-hmm.
And by March, that's when she started running away and doing all of those things.
Yeah, she just we was fine. I had no issues with her. She was listening. She was complying. Then I found out a lot of things that she was doing. I took her phone and stuff because of her actions. And, if I took the phone and everything, told her what she can, she has to abide by the rules of the house. She just flipped out. Like I said, it went from profanity, running away, sending my address to family members through on Instagram, talking to boys. She was doing a lot of things that I don't agree with. And like I said, I stepped in and checked it.
Does Ms. Thomas Wade know your address, or you're saying the address she was given?
Kaylee gave my address, was giving my address on Instagram, was sending it to folks on Instagram, sending it to them.
You said the family. You said she was sending it to family.
It to her. She sent it to her, I think her auntie or cousin. So I've sent screenshots and stuff like that from Instagram to my attorney. Like, it's a lot of things Kayla was doing.
Yes, but what's wrong with her sending your address to family? Are there family members you didn't want to have your address?
Them are her family members. Like, people I don't really deal with those people. And like I said, I don't have no problem with people knowing, but if I get an address, it's fine. But for what Kayla was doing, telling people that I was doing stuff to her, that she didn't feel safe around me. And like I said, because I never stopped her from communicating with her family. But she was giving my address to people. Like, I see she gave it to her mama, that's one thing. But cousins, them people I don't know, she should not be giving out my address without my consent.
Okay. All right, then. So Miss Holloway, help me. Based on your information, what you have with regard to where you see things, what's your suggestion?
I'm not sure. Just to clarify the facts, you did, I think it's 552 or whatever the schedule is where the child is with parents during the week and then they spend the weekends together. We had submitted a proposed order, and the opposing counsel and I could not agree on the child support issue. There was an issue about the warrant, so there's been an email communication. So there was no written warrant, but written order. But I instructed Mr. Way that you had given a verbal order from the bench and that they needed to start that visitation, and so they were. Seems like at some point that then stopped, and the children went to their respective homes. So Kaylee was with her mom, and then the youngest was with Mr. Way.
Okay.
And
okay. So do you, at this juncture, based on the information you have about how much one of the things I think is that we haven't got anything that seems to be consistent for any type of significant period of time, even though the court kind of wanted this by February, but because there's been so much movement, we haven't been able to get something consistent. All right. So Mr. Way, your mother is okay with keeping Kaylee. Is that what you're telling me?
She's been okay with it. Like I said, we discussed it, and everybody trying to figure out whether Kayla's going to stay with me or just go home with her mother. But because how she's acting, she wants to be at home with her mother. And like I said, I have no issue with her being with her mother as long as she's doing the therapy. And the therapy, you know, is already been set to where she has multiple sessions with her mother. Like I said, Sherry has been with me more so than Kayla has. So like I said, we have kind of worked together in that respect as to, you know, managing the kids. But like I said, if Kayla wants to be at home with her mother, I have no qualms with that, but she has to be doing the therapy. This therapy has already been set, and Sherry has been asking to be with me because that's who's been with me more so during this time.
But Mr. Way, my problem is that you moved the therapy back to Henry County. So I
had to. I can't because they going by my address. So that's how they work.
Yeah, that's not my concern about necessarily why you had to do it. I'm concerned about it was done. And so now if I pull her back to Miss Miss Thomas Way is gonna have the same problem, which is you have a therapist in another county, and that, you know, whether or not they would come to the cab, I don't know. But you still got the distance problem again. I like the idea of Kaylee. Are y'all with me?
Yes, we're here.
Okay. I do like the idea of Kaylee being with your mother, somebody kind of on neutral ground while we kind of get through this therapy position. But I don't know if your mother is willing for her to stay like through the summer. What would your mother's position be on that? In other words, to keep her from playing the both of you, you have neutral ground, get the therapy kind of under belt so we can kind of figure out what to do next. Do you think your mother would be willing to do the summer?
Yes, my mom has been, you know, she stepped up and helped out with the situation. And she has been very, you know, helping me out with this throughout all this, and whatever needs to be done, that's what she's been doing to help move through the situation.
Okay, there's someone in the background. Is
that's
that Kaylee?
Kaylee came down here.
Okay, Kaylee does not need to be in the room.
Can you excuse me for 1 second?
Okay. Okay. And then we could still have some visitation with Miss Thomas Way, and of course for you as well, but that maybe primarily she would stay with the grandmother during the weekday. And then on the weekend, 1 week, you could alternate the weekends, and see how that would work. Do you think your girlfriend, Mr. Way, would be open to weekend visitation?
Oh, she's fine. It's not. It was never. That was never the issue. It's about Kaylee not wanting to be there and the actions that Kaylee has caused. And like I told Kaylee, you can come back. You know, you come home when you want to. When I come home, she refuses to get out the car. She gets argumentative. She starts beating on my windows, kicking on the car seats. And like I explained to her, like nobody's ever stopped you from being here. You don't want to be here. And I don't know, like when it changed, what was said to make it change. I don't know what's going on with it. Like I said, it's never been an issue. The only person making the issue is Kate.
All right. So let's do this. Let's we need to do a few things. One, Kaylee needs to see a psychiatrist, that is a medical doctor with the degree in psychiatry. She needs a psychiatrist. She also needs a therapist. Okay, but I think if we're going to keep her at grandma for the summer, we might be able to keep Miss because I don't want to start over with Miss you said Miss Gloria with lovely hands, and she said she's been with her for a minute, so maybe we can keep lovely hands. Mr. Way, you can make sure she gets to the therapy, and then we'll have weekends with the parents. What do you think about that, Miss Thomas Way?
Do the therapy. Actually, the therapy is on Zoom. The counseling is on Zoom because she just actually I think it's Miss Cynthia. We do family counseling with Miss Cynthia, me, Desmond, and Kaylee, and that's on Zoom as well. Also,
they're on Zoom.
Yes, the only one that wasn't on Zoom was the one that was in the County County with Miss Williams.
Okay.
That's the only one that wasn't on Zoom.
So they're not okay. So these are not going to be in-person meetings.
No, no, because the counselors they called me and asked me, is Kaylee with me on Wednesdays? Because I said I told them, because he said they told them that I have her on Wednesdays. So they called me on Wednesday. They called me before Wednesday and asked me, am I going to have Kaylee Wednesday? And I'm like, I'm supposed to get her, but I'm not sure he's going to let her come over. So it's like sometimes he'll let her come on Wednesdays and sometimes he don't. He'll let her come on Fridays. And sometimes he don't let her come at all.
Okay. The family Zoom sessions, when are they?
They just started Tuesday. So it's on Tuesday. They just started this Tuesday.
So y'all have, is it supposed to be set?
Just started yesterday.
Is it set for every Tuesday?
Ma'am?
Is going forward, will
yes,
it be
that's what she said, because it's through defense. Yes.
Is it going to be every Tuesday?
The family therapy, yes. But the other counselor that Kayla has, she has, I think, 2 more counselors. If I'm not mistaken, they called me. And that's supposed to be when I have her on Wednesday. Because he told her that I get her on Wednesdays.
What type of session is the Wednesday sessions between just you and Kaylee? What type of session is that for? So you got family on Tuesday. What type of sessions does she have on Wednesday?
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Well, you know, Mr. Wade, tell me.
Yes, because with, like I said, with Cynthia, most of
what the session is.
I think the one she had for Wednesday was for behavior. That's with Mr. Marlon Oden. Tuesday is with the family. Thursday is with Miss Gloria by herself, or with me and her mother as well. And depending on where Kayla is located at, if Kayla is with me, then it can be Miss Gloria. It can be in person.
All right. So for the family sessions on Tuesday, who runs that session? Gloria or someone else?
Cynthia, Miss Cynthia.
Cynthia runs the family on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Miss Gloria doing both as well. So she's getting a lot. It's a lot of therapy for all of us involved.
Yeah, because Miss Gloria, she doing she said the parenting is individual parenting.
I don't need the background. I need the people's name. Okay. On Tuesday, that is family session conducted by Cynthia.
Yes.
Does anyone else help Cynthia?
No.
No.
All right. On Wednesday, that's behavior, and that is Marlon Oden.
Yes.
And on Thursday, that's Gloria, and that's with Kaylee, or it could be with with one of the parents.
Yeah, or probably both, depending on what she's asking of us.
All right. And is there any other sessions?
No, no.
All right. I would like for you to talk with Mr. Odin to see if he would recommend a psychiatrist so she can go see a psychiatrist. Okay. She needs a psychiatrist. And if they say, we think working with Odin is all she might need, that's fine. If they think medications might be appropriate or they want to suggest something else, do it. But she needs an evaluation out so we can figure out what's going on. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And it may be when she got released from Ridgeview that Ridgeview suggested Mr. Odin and came up with a release plan, but I don't know what that plan is. So I need to either she already has a release plan and this might be it, or
this was it. These are the people that they gave me, and that I was just following, the leads because they contacted me about what was going on with her.
You told me DFACS contacted you.
DFACS contacted me with the behavior doc Odin. That's through Love. That's through COPE. Them two different entities, and with DFACS is Miss Cynthia and Miss Glorious through Henry County CPS.
Okay. So when she was released from Ridgeway is the one who gave you the behavioral therapist,
yes,
Mr. Martin Odin.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. So this came from Ridgeview.
Yes.
All right. So we don't need a therapy. That means that, and they did not recommend for her to have a psychiatrist or consider medications or anything after that.
No. No, they didn't. I went back because they gave me they gave her the medicine to take, and the medicine that that is supposed to handle her calm down her inhibitions. But the medicine that they gave her, like I explained to the doctor, the medicine that they gave her, they said it didn't work. So only thing I can do now is just get her on my insurance and go from there. Because like I said, I couldn't really put on my insurance through the fact that she was on Medicaid. Okay,
so we're going to keep everything as is, and then what I'm going to do is, let me, Ms. Thomas Way, I think you were about to say, your position is that you want her. What is your position on how I articulated, which is that she would stay with his mom on the weekday so that you can kind of get through these therapy sessions without being in the home with her, and then on the weekends you guys would be able to alternate weekends and spend some individual time with her. In other words, if you have her in your home, it might be more difficult to get through the therapy sessions than it would be if you had her on neutral ground when you all have your sessions. What are your thoughts about that?
I don't have any problem traveling if I need to travel for her to go to therapy. I don't have a problem with that. Because I actually was driving her to the therapy she was going to with Ms. Williams. So I don't have a problem with this Zoom, or I don't have a problem.
Not worried about transportation. I'm worried about her mental state when she has these meetings, and for you all to be able to kind of grow. It's one thing when she can kind of play both of you against each other and she's in one household, she's doing good just for the meantime. And then all of a sudden you have this behavior change. And so what I'm trying to say is, if we could put her like in a neutral place with her grandmother so that you all can get through some weeks of sessions, so you all can see whether she's complying and making changes without having to kind of hold the carrot over each of you as to where she's going to live. I'm hoping that might be able to allow some more of a breakthrough in her therapy rather than staying with one of you and kind of holding the carrot over each of you, or she's not necessarily ready. I'm just kind of concerned about moving her between the two of you back and forth is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. I don't have a problem. She can stay with her grandmother because I actually visited the grandmother the other day and she was like, Kayla can stay over there.
Okay.
So about the grandmother go to work at night sometimes. So I guess the days that because she go to work at night sometimes, and then sometimes because I really don't know her off days, but I do know she work at night sometimes.
Okay. I don't like that. You know anything about the night working, Mr. Way, and what days those are? Because she doesn't need to be home by herself at night.
As far as that, she's not at home by herself. Like, my mother has a husband. He's usually here, and his mother's here. But as far as I didn't even know, because I'm here every day, so I'm here every day with her. So we run, depending on what's going on, we're running back and forth, just make sure that she's all right. So my mama works on the weekends, but she's not here by herself. This is a house, it's her grandmother's here and her grandfather's here. Man, so she's not by herself.
I understand, but the grandmother goes to work. Who's there? Grandfather?
Yes, grandfather or grandmother, the great grandmother's here.
Oh, there's a great grandmother that lives in the house.
Oh, no, yes, it's three adults in here.
House.
Okay, all right then. So I say let her stay with Mr. Way's mother. You all would alternate the weekends, and when you alternate those weekends, Sharia will be with each of you during those weekends. Why are you on mute, Mr. Way? Did Sharia walk back into the room?
Yes, Kayla walked back down here. She's complaining about being with her mom, and like I said, because of what she has done, and I'm trying to calm her down. She's not listening.
Your Honor, can I say something?
Okay.
Because Kayla actually says she don't have a phone, she can't talk to me because he took her phone from her. So it's like only time I see her or talk to her is when she come over. So she don't have a phone for me to contact her at all. So it's like she don't have any contact with me.
Mr. Way, thank you. Mr. Way, is there another room that you can go to so you can lock the door?
Yes, I'm doing that now. I'm trying to think because
You go outside to your car.
I have to say, go to your car.
I'm not sure the Wi-Fi gonna reach all the way up there, but I got something. Give me 1 second.
Have we ever considered a guardian ad litem in this case, Ms. Holloway?
No, Your Honor, because the evidence had closed when they had their final hearing. But if one could be appointed, I think that would be helpful. I don't know the party's ability to pay. Ms. Thomas Way isn't working. I think they may qualify for the pro bono program, but I'm not sure.
Or it might be on a sliding scale at least. I think I need a guardian ad litem to make sure her mental mostly related to her mental health. We need somebody to look at these reentry records and make sure that what's in place is sound for her, because I'm not a therapist and I'm kind of doing the best I can based on my experiences and things I've done in the past, but I don't know where I'm listening to the parents as to where they're saying and what they're saying they're doing. But by the same token, you got Kaylee already demanding as to where she want to go and what she wants to do, and I'm not sure how that's how it's gonna pan itself out, especially if she's running away from home, and things of that nature. So we're gonna have to play this by ear as well. I'm gonna do. I see you both. You can put your hand down. My intent is to try to do. Maybe we'll come back in a month to see how well this plan is working, and we'll try to see if we can get a guardian ad litem in place as well, so we can make sure that mentally she's okay. Mr. Way, when she ran away from home, where did she go? And how long?
She went back to her mother's house.
Okay, she went away from home to go home.
Yeah, and that's why I don't let her have any devices, because, like I said, she was giving the address out to people, and she, through Lyft, and so I don't know if she had money on CashApp. So when that's why she doesn't have devices with me, because I'm more concerned about whether she gives my mother address out to somebody, or no matter where she is, I have to be mindful of the people that is with me, because that's what she has been doing.
Now, how can Miss Thomas Wade then speak to her during the week?
My mother, like I said, she can speak.
Call her mom.
Yeah, my mom. She can call Kayla from Kayla can call her from my mother's phone.
Your mom has a home phone or a cell phone?
Cell phone. Like I said, we try to, because when she talks to her mother and stuff like that, and when she gets off the phone, that's when she becomes very confrontational. And I want to go home, or she starts acting out, she starts lashing out, she starts fussing. So like, only time that she seems to be if she's over there with her mom. But when she's over here with me, or with this, with like, she just get very outlandish.
All right, Miss Thomas Wade, what do you wish to say?
I was just over. Excuse me. I was just over there. I think last week with Kayla and his mother and the stepfather, and Kayla did not say anything about she wanted to come home with me. She was comfort over there with her. She's comfort at their house, and they were like, she's welcome to come here, because I have no problem with the mother or the stepdad. Like, we talk whenever we're around each other. It's just that Kayla don't have a device while she's over there for me to sit there and figure out if she's all right, have she ate. Because last time I saw the mother, she was like, Kayla didn't have any underwears over there, so I had to bring her some clothes over there. And she was like, well, the dad didn't bring her nothing to eat till almost 9:00. And she's like, it really no food over here. So I'm trying to figure out, when do I need to bring her something to eat, or when do I need to bring her some clothes, so she won't have to keep washing the same clothes every day.
Well, can't you talk to her? Can't you call the mother's cell phone?
She don't always answer the phone, because sometimes she be asleep because she take medication.
Well, I kind of agree with Mr. Wade. It might not be a good idea for Kaylee to have a phone if she's acting out in the way that she's acting out. She might need a break. So you guys figure out a way of making contact with her. But for right now, I suggest you call Miss. What's your mother's name, Mr. Wade?
Melanie.
What's her name?
Melanie.
Melanie what?
Wade.
Okay. So right now, I think you need to contact Miss Melanie Way, use her phone number, her phone, able to make contact with her. And I'll also put in an order that she can call you from a family's device, a family's phone, family member's phone. And at some point, we'll figure out what to do next. But I really do need everybody to be on board. You guys got to be on the same page, because if you're not on the same page, she's gonna eat a wedge if she can. If she knows you want one thing but somebody else wants the other, she's gonna use it. And if she knows that you're not going to be behind Mr. Wade's decision not to give her a cell phone, she's going to use that to her advantage. But if she knows that both of you are on the same page, that she cannot have a cell phone, she won't be able to use it against you. But if she knows that Ms. Thomas Wade if she feels like you, Ms. Thomas Wade, are okay with her having a phone, she's going to fight her dad on it, because she's going to be able to say, Mom wants to call me. I can't do anything without Mom, because that's what she thinks. But I think if you double down Ms. Thomas Wade and say, she can't have a phone because we're going through this therapy, Kayla, you got to get through this therapy first. And, we'll reevaluate you getting a phone after we figure out how it's going to, help create a better circumstance for this family. You guys got to be on the same page, because she will break that. She'll break into it if she can and wedge her way into wedging between the two of you. And you don't need that for right now. So let's, what we're going to do is I'll make an appointment, make a status here in 4 weeks to kind of see where we are. She'll stay with the mother. You all alternate weekends. When you alternate weekends, Sharia would be with you on that alternated weekend. You guys can go back and forth with Sharia, but Sharia is in Ms. Thomas Wade's control, which means that just like with Kaylee, is primarily in your control, Mr. Wade. I haven't changed that, but I am changing where she's staying. Okay.
I'm not arguing with that, because I don't feel, like I said, Sherry wants to be with me. So like I said,
well, wherever Sharia,
she's Sherry with me right now,
and that's fine. But if Miss Thomas Wade is her primary. All right. So just be mindful of that.
I have been, whenever she comes home, it's just Sherry's been with me more often, been with me more so.
All right. right. But on the weekends, when you have Kaylee on the weekends, the weekends that you all get Kaylee, Sharia should be there so she can spend time with her sister as well. Okay.
They
All
spend time with each other.
Good. I'm gonna contact pro bono and try to see if we can get guardian ad litem, particularly so we can get these Ridgeway records to make sure that we're doing everything we're supposed to do in that regard. You guys need to figure out what you're going to do with all this, these reports and this criminal stuff that you have going on. I suggest that you all, Mr. Way, you speak to Ms. Holloway and come up with the best way of handling your circumstance. Ms. Thomas Way, I know you indicated you're going to try to get somebody else, an attorney. You might need to do that so we can figure out what to do next. But I can tell you from the way it's looking from this court, if you have, I know, circumstances where you have a child fighting both of you, it doesn't look good. Okay. So let's figure that out. I don't want to, I want you to do what you think is best, but I also want you to be mindful of the real circumstances that you guys are looking at now. All right. All right then.
One quick thing. Do you want us still to look into getting a psychiatrist?
No, not right now. I think Mr. Wade tells me that the psychiatrist is the one who recommended Odin. So what I think what we could do now is keep what we have now, try to get me a guardian ad litem, and then we'll go through the Ridgeway records just to make sure we're doing exactly what Ridgeway indicated or what we should be doing. Okay. But like I said, I knew from the beginning when she was first here, when I interviewed her, which I thought was, I still think it was, very mindful of someone to kind of know what their behavior is, because she admitted, that she kind of gets, has kind of more of explosive behavior when she can't get what she wants. She said that's the kind of behavior I have. I know I need to change, but it was just difficult for her to figure it out. So that's why I was thinking that therapy was going to be really helpful for her, because she acknowledged that she had that issue. But it might be because she hasn't been able to be consistently in therapy. And it also is because right now she's not getting what she wants, which is that outlet, that phone. And that might be causing some of the behavior as well. But I think if both parents are just kind of doubling down with each other, she might understand that she needs to get through this therapy, and that both of the parents are on the same page. That you guys got to be on the same page. You just have to. All right. So that's what I'm going to do for now. All right. Anything else?
John, I had a question.
Yes.
Because Mr. Wade, because of the 3-year consent order between me and Mr. Wade, we can't talk to each other. So it's like, we got to go through the kids and say what's going on. It's like we talk to each other. I said, me and Mr. the 3-year consent order, protective order. So it's like I can't talk to him and he can't talk to me. So we can't communicate back and forth with what's going on with the kids. We have to put the kids involved to talk about what's going on with them.
Your Honor, I have a suggestion for that. There is a free app called App Close. It does the same thing that Our Family Wizard does, but it's free.
What is it called?
Oh, I think we may have lost Judge Barry. Hold on one second.
Okay.
I will put it in the chat though.
Okay.
Okay. You were saying that there's an app that does what?
It's a free app called App Close. It does the same thing that Our Family Wizard does, but it's free.
Okay.
And so I just put the link in the chat for both of the parties.
Mr. Way and Ms. Thomas Way, are y'all okay with using this mechanism? That way it'll track what you're saying to each other, and everything that you need to use would be about the children. You won't use it to stalk. You won't use it to say anything negative about each other. It would be about being able to communicate with the children with regard to issues such as, she has therapy today. Don't forget, got to take her to a doctor's appointment today.
today is my weekend. Things of that nature. You won't be saying stuff like every time I talk to her, she says something negative about you. You're not using it for that purpose. You're using it for purposes of orchestrating the parenting of these children. Do y'all understand that?
Yes.
All right. So we'll Miss Holloway put the app in. Miss Holloway, where'd you send it? Did you send it to Miss Harris?
I put it in the chat for everyone.
Yes,
Can
ma'am.
you
I
see it, Miss Harris?
Yes, ma'am. I see it. Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
grab it for me. All right. There we go. All right. Thank you so much. Y'all are free to leave.
Okay, thank you.